On day 3 of NBA free agency, the biggest news is actually a buyout, as the Oklahoma City Thunder agreed to buy out Kemba Walker's contract, and he immediately will sign with the New York Knicks as soon as he clears waivers. So, wow, man. You know, Kemba had 2 years, $74 million left on his deal with the Thunder. He was recently traded from the Boston Celtics to Oklahoma City this offseason. We obviously know the Thunder have no intentions on winning over the next few years. I'll get into that more in a second. But for Kemba, it allows him to go back to a place where his journey in basketball started. He has roots in the New York area. It allows him to likely be the starting point guard of the Knicks alongside R.J. Barrett and obviously Julius Randle, a team that made it to the playoffs last year, showed a lot of spunk and fight. You know, the Knicks have already signed pretty much all of their guys that were free, minus Reggie Bullock. They were able to bring back, Evan Fournier, get him from Boston as well. So you'll have 2 Celtics in New York as Fournier and Kemba Walker make their way to the Garden. You put Kemba next to the Knicks and you see what happens. You see what can happen with him and Julius Randle. You know, personally, I like the New York Knicks a little bit more yesterday than I did today following this move. I know that's going to sound crazy. Kemba's a former All-Star in this league, but he's 31 years of age. His knees are bad, and unfortunately, I don't think he's a dog. And I'm sorry. I know he's had some special moments in the Garden, especially when he played at UConn, but I don't see it. I don't see this making the Knicks any better. If anything, it makes him a little worse just because it's going to take the ball out of Emmanuel Quickly's hand a little more. It's going to take the ball out of Derrick Rose's hand a little more. And heck, you paid R.J. Barrett. Well, you're going to pay R.J. Barrett. You drafted him high. He's supposed to be your starting shooting guard / point guard, a la your James Harden. You're going to probably take the ball out of his hands a little more. I don't like the move. I understand why the Knicks would do it. If you can get this guy on a buyout market, you do it. But if I'm looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder's perspective, it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all trade for Kemba Walker. I'm thinking, okay, y'all going to allow Kemba to kind of teach some of the young guys, because I don't believe bringing Kemba in automatically makes you a better team. Michael Jordan quit on him, and it looks like he was right. I don't believe bringing Kemba in makes you a better team. So I'm thinking, okay, Kemba's going to be able to mentor Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder are still going to be back. But the Thunder get Kemba Walker. They trade with the Celtics to allow them to get under the cap, and the Celtics were able to use that money to their advantage. And the Thunder buy him out like a month later. Like, what is that about? The Thunder are just getting in everybody else's business around the league with no intention on keeping these guys. I'm going to say this really quickly. I don't know if the Oklahoma City Thunder should have a basketball team right now. I don't like how this looks. They are openly tanking. Anybody good on that team, not named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, will be traded. Look at some of the talent that they've had over the last few years. Just to think, over a decade ago, this team had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant. And now they're trying to find the next James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook. But the way they're going about it is disgusting. They have so many picks over the next few years. And then what I love about it is you get all these picks and all these chances, but you still got a lottery in place in the NBA draft. So they ended up doing, they're doing the tanking thing, and they only got 6th. Now, what if that continues over the years, right? You're bad enough to be in the lottery. You got multiple chances at a number 1 pick, but you end up with like 4, 5, and 6, number 9. So you never get a guy that's going to change your franchise around from day one. You never get a Cade Cunningham. You never get a Zion Williamson. I'm just saying, like, come on, bro. Is this what the game is? Like, everybody knows that the Thunder are tanking. Kemba knew it, and he was like, I'm not going there. I'm not playing basketball for these dudes. They don't want to win. I'm not finna waste the best years I got left in Oklahoma City for a team that's openly tanking. Like, should they not be a basketball franchise? Like, can we not move this franchise somewhere else? Can we not get new ownership? This team is openly tanking, and I think it's ridiculous. Get that team to Vegas or Seattle or somebody that can recruit or get some players to come there. If you can't get no talent to Oklahoma City and you're not going to compete, like Memphis can't get a lot of top-tier guys to come there, but every year they compete. They made the playoffs this year. Like some of these smaller markets are still finding ways to compete. They're drafting well. They're finding ways. Like, look at what the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing. All the Hall of Famers that have went through that franchise in the last decade, and all they do is give them away for nothing. A buyout for Kemba? I don't think he's going to change your franchise, but you telling me all you can get for Kemba Walker is a buyout? You couldn't trade him nowhere. You couldn't work out a deal with the Knicks. You just gave him away for free. That's not what the integrity of the game is. You know, we'll see what happens with Kemba. They got a lot of talent in New York now. You know, we'll see what happens. I like what the Knicks had. I would have focused on maybe a better small forward than another point guard. I don't think that's what the Knicks desperately needed. I think they're pretty good at that spot. But if you can get Kemba for the cheap, he's already getting his money from Oklahoma City over time. I don't blame him.